me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Tell me what they wanna see me for. Hit me out, here we go. What's the re-report? Bring it to you live.
Welcome to the re-report. Appreciate y'all for taking this time to hear me out. Be sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the video. It is much appreciated, and I do thank you all for it. Today here on the re-report, of course you see it. Another Lakers trade, of course, every year. This is the theme with the Lakers. We're recently in somewhat of a slump. But they've won a few games in a row now since a couple, I guess, since the Detroit loss. But we knew that this was inevitable. We knew that this was coming. The Lakers were going to make a trade, and you knew that if somebody was going to get traded from this team, it was going to be the guy you see on the screen, D'Angelo Russell. D-Lo, of course, you see it. Lakers trade D'Angelo Russell to the Nets in a 4-player deal, actually going back to Brooklyn. How did it start for D'Lo, actually? Let's see how it started. Let's see. Before we get into the article, let's see how it started for D'Lo, his career. He went from, of course, he was drafted by the Lakers. Let's go to stats. Let's look at it this way. So he was drafted by the Lakers. Yep, and he went to Brooklyn. Yep. So drafted by the Lakers, went to Brooklyn. After 2 seasons, we all know how his first stint with LA ended. Went to Brooklyn and became an all-star, I believe, in this season right here, 2018-2019. Became an all-star with the Brooklyn Nets, so he got that on his resume. Then he went to Golden State for a couple games. I don't think he and Steph got along, so it didn't work out there. So he spent pretty much 3.5 seasons in Minnesota. 3.5 seasons with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and before finally coming back to LA, and he spent his last 2.5 years back with the Lakers, or however you want to add that up. And he did some good things for the Lakers in his second stint back. Of course, we all remember that playoff run that they had back in 2 years ago now, when they went to the Western Conference Finals. But anyway, back to the Nets. So yeah, when they went to the Western Conference Finals in those series against the Grizzlies in the first round, and then you had the Warriors in the second round. Of course, you can just tell when he plays Steph that that's a game he really won't, and he was really after it in that series. But like I said, you knew that, if somebody was going to get traded, if someone was leaving, it was going to be this guy. Unless they got a real big superstar, or, a big superstar or something like that, then you could see Austin Reeves and even a Dalton Connect leaving. But this is not a surprise. So we're going to get into the article right here. So Lakers trade D'Lo to the Nets in a 4-player deal. And here is the article. It says Los Angeles Lakers have traded D'Angelo Russell, Maxwell Lewis, and 3 second-round picks to the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and Shake Milton. It was announced Sunday. So this is a big pickup for the Lakers, Dorian Finney-Smith. 3-and-D guy. But we all know how it goes sometimes when them 3-and-D dudes come to the Lakers. All of a sudden, they can't make a shot to save their lives. I forget who Mike Beasley. Was it Beasley? And then you had, I don't know if you can really say Danny Green as much, but I guess some people throw Danny Green in that category. Malik Monk hit some big shots. But guys just seem to lose their touch. I guess Taurean Prince, they seem to lose their touch when they come to the Lakers for whatever reason. It says the Lakers sent their own second-round picks in 27, 2030, and 31 to the Nets. Russell, the second overall pick in the 2015 draft. Man, it's hard to believe. Crazy to think that that's coming up on 10 years now. 2015 draft is averaging 12.4 points, 2.8 rebounds, and 4.7 assists in 26.3 minutes per game this season. The 28-year-old point guard returns to the Nets, where he played for the 2017-18 and 2018-19 seasons when he earned his only All-Star selection. And this article is by Shams, senior NBA insider. We have to mention that, give him credit for this article that we're reacting to. It says the move gives the Lakers a versatile 3-and-D player in Finney-Smith. The 31-year-old averaged 10.4 and 10.4 points, 4.6 rebounds per game this season for the Nets, with whom he has played since arriving in the Kyrie Irving trade from the Dallas Mavericks in February 23. And the Nets are one of those teams. They don't have a good record, but they just like Portland, they are a scrappy team that feels like they're just pieces away, not too far away. Like, they have some talent. They just need to get those big name guys back. And it didn't work out with KD, Kyrie, James Harden, and all of them. The Nets are 12 and 20, but it still feels like they are not too far away. And Finney-Smith was a huge contributor to what they were able to do. Of course, not a good team, but you don't want to sleep on them. You're not just going to blow them out like that, in my opinion. It says Finney-Smith is shooting a career high 43.5% from three this season and is known as a high-level wing defender. Finney-Smith is the only player in the NBA this season to defend guards, forwards, and centers each of the last 15 half-court matchups per game. Man, they be keeping track of some crazy stats. According to Second Spectrum, he is on pace to average at least 10 points in a season for the second time in his career. Let's see, we got a quote from Rob Pelinka here, and we're going to get into our thoughts about this trade, what we think after this. It says, with this trade, we are thrilled to add the physicality, toughness, and elite shooting that Dorian Finney-Smith will bring to our core, Lakers general manager Rob Pelinka said in a statement. We also greatly value the playmaking of Shake Milton. We're excited for our fans to get both of these players on the court. Okay. It says Lakers coach JJ Redick has preached positional versatility and toughness in his roster attributes the franchise addition should help with. Los Angeles also creates salary and luxury tax flexibility, saving a total of $15 million and moving $3.5 million below the second apron. Finney-Smith has a $15.4 million option for next season. Redick and Finney-Smith were teammates with the Mavericks, that's right, during the 2020-2021 season. And there is, JJ Redick previously has sung the praises of Finney-Smith, so no surprise there. The Nets acquired draft capital and cleaner salaries moving forward, including Russell's expiring deal. Brooklyn now has 31 draft picks in the next 7 seasons. Sheesh, they better be building a championship team with all these draft picks. 15 first rounders and 16 second rounders. All the KD, James Harden, Kyrie Irving trades to Phoenix and Dallas and LA Clippers and LA Lakers too. Both LA teams, they've got a lot of capital over the years. And you see it here, 15 first rounders in the next 7 seasons. 16 second rounders, that's crazy. Earlier this month, the Nets traded Dennis Schroeder, they just love making business deals with California, I guess. The Kings next. Lord knows they need it. And we haven't even talked about the Mike Brown situation. But Dennis Smith Jr., Dennis Schroeder to Golden State Warriors for 3 second-round picks. I did not know that. I know he was traded there, but I just never looked into the details of what they gave up. Russell started the first 8 games of the season for the Lakers until Redick changed the starting lineup after his team lost 4 or 5 games. Despite the bench role, Russell's production had been on the uptick. His 13 points per game on 42.2% shooting, 43.2% shooting from the field, and 38.6% from the 3 in December was better than what he averaged in November and October. You see the percentages there. We want to thank D'Angelo for his second stint with us, where we celebrated some great moments and accomplished on the court together, Pelinka said in a statement. We want to wish him and Maxwell Lewis well in their future endeavors. You know, that old corporate talk, future endeavors. You get that with every corporation. It's more popular in wrestling when you see guys get released in the WWE. The future endeavors text that the players and calls the wrestlers talk about getting when they're released. It says with the Brooklyn Nets, it says Russell, despite being linked to trade discussions in February, was coming off a strong season in which he averaged 18 points, 45.6% shooting, and 41.5 from three, while setting a Lakers record for three-pointers. That's right, in a season with 226. When he greeted reporters during the Lakers' annual media day in September, he said, "Surprise, surprise," acknowledging a somewhat unexpected turn of events for him to pick up his $18.7 million player option to return to LA after all the trade talks and another spotty postseason performance. Russell has been traded 5 times in the past 7.5 years. He's just a good trade player. That's who he is. He's a good player, but you know what I'm saying? If you're looking to trade for somebody, he's a good guy to in many cases he's the main guy in a trade situation. It's a lot of times to be traded though in 7 years. Lewis, a 22-year-old forward, he hasn't been mentioned much in this article. 22-year-old forward taken in the second round of 2023 draft has seen action in 7 games this season, averaging 4 minutes. Milton, who's 28, was averaging 7 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists in his first season with the Nets. He is owed $3 million next season and $3.3 million in 26-27. Milton is joining his 6th NBA team in less than 2 years, including his 3rd trade in 11 months. So he's a nice pickup too. But of course, the main pickup was Finney-Smith, Dorian Finney-Smith. That was the main pickup. But in terms of what I think about this trade, again, Laker fan, but I'm not jumping out and saying championship. I'm not saying any of that. I do like how the Lakers have been playing, this, not that with the exception of collapsing against Detroit. Now, I think they did that against the Magic as well, not too long ago. But they just seem to play better when LeBron James is not on the court. And I know a lot of people say, oh, well, they're not going to win without him. They're not going to win without him, but they're not going to win with him either. So, to me, it doesn't matter. They seem to play better. They seem to, the game seems to flow better. The pace of the game is better. It's not slowed down. So, to me, as a fan, look, I'm just watching basketball and I'm just going to see what happens. We're going to do I like to do predictions really after the All-Star break in terms of who I think is going to win it all, because of all the trades and things that take place throughout the course of the NBA season. So we'll do a predictions video because we didn't do one at the start of this season. So we'll do one after the All-Star break. But I don't see the Lakers missing the playoffs, especially the play-in. I do think it's so tough in the West. Let's actually go to that. But I still think they're going to be. I think they are more of a threat. Ooh, got a little alarm there. They're more of a threat than more than Golden State. Golden State is not, you know what I'm saying? Like it's really, when you look at the Golden State Warriors now, it's really not surprising that they've fallen the way that they've fallen. You see them 3-7 in their last 10 games at 16-15, but Phoenix. I know we're talking about the Lakers, but Phoenix. Well, we're talking about the standings. Phoenix is the shocker. This is crazy right here. I saw a stat that they were 1-9 with KD out of the lineup, but now they've dropped below 500. Of course, this one right here, the Kings, Sacramento Kings, firing Mike Brown, and that was just insane, especially the way it took place, what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like you can't. We'll talk about it. It's like you can't say anything anymore to these players. If you saw the Pistons Kings game the other day, you saw De'Aaron Fox foul a jump shooter. You saw the lapse on defense, and you saw Mike Brown go into the press conference and call it out. And you know what I'm saying, it's not the only reason, but he lost his job because of it. Because it's like you can't really say anything about these players because they pretty much hold the power. Now, I don't feel terribly bad for Mike Brown. What happened, because Mike Brown is getting paid. Mike Brown was getting paychecks from Cleveland and LA when he was the Warriors coach, and he's going to get paychecks from Sacramento when he go coach somewhere else if he decides to coach again this season. But he was dealt a raw deal. He's not the guy that was the problem. Adding DeRozan was always the problem that people pointed out even before the season started. I wasn't mad that DeRozan didn't come to the Lakers because I already don't like the pace that the Lakers play with LeBron James. So I really wouldn't like it if you had DeRozan and LeBron James. It would have been a nightmare of a team. Not in a good way. So, but hearing all these coaches, former coaches, and people talk about, you know what I'm saying, coming out defending Mike Brown because everybody saw what happened and saw, you know, how it went down. All these people are saying the same thing. Like, hey, the organization, like, hey, this happened to me. Hey, it was a cowardly move. Same owner, nothing's gonna change. And I'm looking at the Kings back to square one because I don't see De'Aaron Fox being there much longer. He'll probably be traded this season. And then if that's the case, then Sabonis is definitely out of there. He's not gonna stick around for a rebuild. And then you're just gonna be back to lottery pick Kings, like they were in the years past. They were beaten 4 times by the Lakers this year. When was the last time that happened? They're currently on a major losing streak right now. But what was the report? Mike Brown, you saw him in practice. There was footage of him in practice. He did a press conference, and he was on his way to the airport for the team to go play the Lakers. It was Saturday. And he got the call on his way to the airport that he was fired. Just a shame. Just a shame because you don't see that with other type of coaches. You don't see that with other type of coaches. You always, for the most part, you always hear about come to a mutual parting of the ways. You know what I'm saying? We agreed to part ways. But it always seems like with a certain type of coach, it always comes down to, it always got to be a shameful way for him to exit, to fire him. Mike Brown didn't deserve that. At some point, these players who getting all this money, you got to point the blame over at them. You got to point the blame. This roster is not good enough. They were a play-in team last year. They're worse this year. And it's not even a surprise. Never looked at the Kings as like, oh, they're going to be a threat this year because they got a 36-year-old who's known for, honestly, coming up short. He leaves Toronto, they win the championship the next year. You can talk circumstances on how they won the championship and the Raptors all you want. But the fact of the matter is DeRozan never even got them there. And now he's here in Sacramento, and what do you know? Dwayne Casey wins Coach of the Year, and they fire him after that. Mike Brown was Coach of the Year not too long ago. He has DeRozan on his team, and now he's fired. What's the common denominator here? De'Aaron Fox is not to be absolved either. Big problem as well. There's rumors that he don't want to be in Sacramento. And you can just tell when a player is disgruntled like that. You can see it on the court. You can see it on the court. I don't see him being there after this year. I'll just say that. I don't know if they'll trade him this year, but this season. But after this year, I don't see De'Aaron Fox here in Sacramento after that. But firing Mike Brown, we're just going to incorporate it in this video. That was just a poor way for that to happen. And I can see Pelicans firing their coach next. This right here, with all the draft picks they've accumulated over the years, this right here, unacceptable. 5-27. They were this bad. You put their wins together with the Jazz, and they don't even have more than the Kings. They have one more than the Pelicans. Anyway, yeah, Warriors not too surprised. Not surprised at all, to be honest. Spurs right where they should be. This team, the Minnesota Timberwolves, they are, I guess we're ending this, you know what I'm saying, a year-end review. They are, should be better than what they are. It felt like for a second, it felt like they were heading in the right direction. They had 2 big wins over the Lakers, and when I say big, I mean like how they held the Lakers to like 79 or 80 some points in like 2 games or something like that. Nuggets are the West is just tough, man, and the Clippers are a surprise to me. This team is a surprise. I did not expect them to be where they are. Pretty much, I really didn't expect this from the Clippers. Lakers. Mavericks, yeah, they should be the defending champions of the conference. Rockets, now this is a team who I won't say surprised me, like, because you knew that they were going to be good. Grizzlies, you knew when they get job back, they were going to be good. And of course, the Oklahoma City Thunder. But yeah, man, that's my take on basketball. On basketball, poor East. We just neglect the East. It's going to come down to these 2 teams, though. The Knicks got to show me, man, because they just what the Knicks got to do is avoid this team right here. The Knicks got to avoid this man right here. You know, the guy that played for the Hawks, Trae Young. They got to avoid this guy by any means necessary, because they play in the playoffs, and if the playoffs were to start today, surprise, surprise, that would actually be the matchup. They play in the playoffs. Oh boy. Oh boy, the Knicks got to show me, but in my opinion, it's still Boston and Cleveland. And Cleveland, they just got to show that they can get past Boston, and I think they'll be all right. Milwaukee, we'll see. They won the NBA Cup. Nobody cares. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares. Magic, a lot of injuries, so we'll see how afloat they can stay with all the injuries they've endured with season-ending injuries and things like that. So. Other than that, I appreciate you guys taking this time to hear me out. Leave in the comments what you think about this Dorian Finney-Smith trade to the Lakers and D'Lo going back to the Nets. What you guys think? Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. Peace.
Hear me out. Here we go with the Reed Report. Bring it to you live, on time. Bring it to you live. Time. Bring it to you live. On time. Bring it to you live. On time.